What's going on, it's the RapNerd, and I'm here today to talk about Gareth Evans' latest film called Havoc, exclusively on Netflix. Now, the story takes place in a terrible crime-ridden city where a detective played by Tom Hardy is on a mission to save a politician's son, and while doing so, he makes his way in the underworld and finds a web of lies from damn near everyone involved. Now, I'm not gonna lie, it was extremely hard to come up with that synopsis because this movie is a bit of a mess with plotline. It's constructed messily. There were points where I didn't even know what was going on, and hell, I still don't know what's going on with some of the stuff. But all that said, we're here for Gareth Evans. We know what he does. He created The Raid, and for that, I loved this film, and it was so exciting to watch despite a lot of those messy plot lines. One of the big things about the film, because obviously the action is top notch, which I'll get to in a second, but this film feels like one of those joints that got released back in like 2006 to 2009, where it's its own world created. Like, this definitely feels like a made-up town, and I believe it is because I don't think I saw a real city being named. I just know it takes place in the United States, but it has a particular look to it, a feel to it that kind of is reminiscent of like Dread, the remake, Max Payne. Like, it feels like those put in a pot to get this world here because it is very dirty, grimy, grungy, and there's something about it that feels a little futuristic, dystopian in a sense. I can't put my finger on why, but it just feels like it takes place in the future where a city has definitely gone to shit, but the rest of the world has advanced in technology. And I like how lived in this world felt. It's very fast paced. Things happen at a rapid speed, so it's not like you have a lot of time to collect what's being, given to you, which kind of added to the nature of how high octane this thing is. I mean, from the start, this movie is a thrill ride. It opens with a speed chase. It throws you right into the thick of things, and it gets the ball rolling from the jump. You don't get an introduction. It's just boom, here we are, and here we go. The domino blocks have started to fall. And of course, there are some familiar faces in this movie, and a lot of what you're seeing as far as characteristics are stereotypical for these types of movies. You have Tom Hardy, who's this hardened detective that kind of plays on the fence of being a little dirty with the way he does things, like, being very abusive to the criminals that he finds. And Forest Whitaker here plays that politician. And again, everything is stereotypical. I don't think any of the performances or the character types are different than something that we've seen before. But again, let's get to the root of why I watched this movie, and that is the action. There are 3 big action pieces in this film, and each one of them lasts for quite some time. The first one is the shortest, but the second 2, oh man, do these things take it there. And I think that's what Gareth is just a master at, is making these very, very entertaining, high-paced, unconventional action scenes work that leave you on the edge of your seat. Things will start out with just fisticuff or somebody using an item like a bat or even a club or something, and then we done graduated to all-out gunfire that is done in such a fantastical way that you're laughing, but also going like, ooh. There's a little bit of each in the teaser, but of course the teaser was like a minute, but damn. These action scenes just start and just keep expanding and expanding and expanding and expanding. You're sitting here wondering, like, when is this gonna end? But I don't want it to end because it pulled me in so much. Honestly, a lot of these action scenes felt like The Matrix 2 when it was Neo fighting an endless amount of Agent Smiths. It was just henchmen just getting sent in for each action scene just to keep getting killed. From that perspective, it felt a lot like a video game. And when I think about it overall, this felt like an adaptation of a video game brought to life, which is cool because if I read it right, I even looked a little bit to see, like, what is this adapted from? And come to find out, this is just an original thing that Gareth wrote and directed. But it definitely gives me that 2000s video game vibes, as I mentioned, like Max Payne. There was a lot of huge vibes in this film that reminded me of a lot of those games that were released during that period of time that were these hardened, kind of mature action thriller games equipped with swearing, mad blood spill, ultra violence. Like, this is all of that in this film, and as a whole, it's pretty thin, but again, We know why we're here. I didn't go into this movie expecting anything complex. I didn't go in here expecting Oscar-worthy performances. I went in here to get some guns blazing, fist to cuff, foot to chin, elbow to sternum, high-octane action, and this film delivered that on a great scale. I left the movie feeling fully fed with that aspect. So if you're going expecting stuff outside of that, you're going to be disappointed. I'm not going to front, because it's a thin movie overall, but we're here for the action, and it delivered. And for that reason, I loved it, and this will be a film that I return to, especially because it takes place during Christmas. So this is now a Christmas action movie that I'm gonna watch every year. So if you've seen Havoc, let me know what you think about it. What is your favorite sequence? Mine would have to be the club scene. That shit was crazy. And of course, if you like this kind of content, make sure you like and subscribe. And if you already are subscribed, thank you. And until next time, peace.
RapNerd Productions, no capping, that's word to mommy. Instead of banking on it, now rapping is just a hobby.